Ah, it's what you don't want to see. William Saliba has gone down with an innocuous injury and has been forced to be withdrawn. What do we make of that? We knew this World Cup was going to be dark. We've still got players there. Our players put their bodies on the line throughout the season. There's a wider discussion to be said about the sheer amount of games that these footballers play. Unfortunately, if you're a France and Arsenal player, or England and Arsenal player, or just a recognized player for a club that's participating in several competitions, much less obviously playing for your country, you're looking at 50, 70 games a season. And it's dark, in it, really and truly. What I would say is, no matter what Saliba feels like and how we feel, we need to wait for tests. Every day will shed some new light on the situation regarding William Saliba. But also, people know their bodies. They know when they're in issues. We've heard rumors Saliba will need a minor procedure. Some people, or at least some people, are saying, and I thought initially it's a hamstring injury. There's rumors on social media that it's a back injury. Only God knows what's going on there. Hand of Arsenal said the club have been worried about William Saliba and his back issues. I reported a few weeks ago he may even need some sort of a procedure to fully heal. Rice is dragging himself through the World Cup. Saka, well, we already know his documented issues. And I always said, as much as I want signings, and obviously you can see why injuries highlight the need for signings, I'm prepared to wait in it because I believe in judging the club at the end of the window. If we sign what needs to be signed tomorrow, great. If the window gets to the end and we don't, then by all means, we have to let them have it. But if there was one thing that would make me crash out, it's our players have been ran into the ground. This World Cup isn't nice. The amount of minutes are good that they're going to play, when they're all going to return, when they're all going to be in good health and whatnot. The collective injuries that we could start this season with makes me a bit nervous, but I don't want to do the doom and gloom thing. I think us and Barcelona had the most players at the World Cup. We're therefore one of the clubs at this moment in time that still have players participating at the World Cup. Commiserations for what it's worth to Saliba. Obviously, France are out. Congratulations to Zubamendi, David Raya, and Mikel Merino, because Spain are still in it. And I'd love to have been in Mikel Arteta's household because he must have been cheering on the Spanish, gassed that the Spanish scored, cheered, proud that his boys are playing at the World Cup, not just the Spanish lads, William Saliba. And then he saw Saliba go down. You'd imagine the medical team got shouted immediately. Arsenal are probably ringing off the France counterparts. Berta's probably having some conversation. Saliba's phone's probably pinging by everybody. And yeah, when you look at this as well, Arsenal played the second most minutes of any Premier League club at the 2026 World Cup so far. This had to have been a factor in something we've considered going into the tournament. We're second. City players have played 5,319 minutes, and they keep signing players, as much as we change boxes and knickers if you're a girl, people. We've got 4,285. So I guess this is the curse with having good players that represent their countries throughout the World Cup. Now, hand of Arsenal. If it's not hand of Arsenal, Fabrizio Romano or David Ornstein, I always tell you, me personally, I look at these things with a pinch of salt. He's provided an update on Julian Alvarez where the Julian Alvarez stuff is resurfacing, whether it's Julian Alvarez, whether it's Morgan Rogers, whether it's Bruno Guimarães or Bacola. Just get the players done, man. Just get the players done. Put the money down, get the players done, innit? But if you could get Julian Alvarez, a left winger, a central midfielder, I think we're good, man, if I'm honest. If you were to get Zolis, Bruno Fernandes, Julian Alvarez, and Morgan Rogers, I know I'm dreaming because they're taking 300, 400 odd million quid. But it'd be nice, wouldn't it, people? It all depends on the fees because you see 90 to 100 million on Alvarez. You see 100 all the way to 130 for Morgan Rogers. You see a similar fee of Bacola, Bruno Guimarães, 65, 55, 65, 75, 85, 100 odd million quid. On Alvarez, from my last update, every single point still remains true. Arteta sees Julian as a major marquee transformal signing. There are direct, fresh contacts between the ownership at Arsenal and Atletico regarding a possible transfer. There's still a gap in valuation of the Argentine story with Luca Bidoni. Again, respect to every journalist and their work. But I remain adamant that the player is open to a move to North London if his dream move to Barcelona fails. We've seen reports that Barcelona have an offer on the table. It's expiring past a certain period of time. It's expected Barcelona, if and when Argentina go out the World Cup or when the World Cup commences, they're hoping Julian Alvarez, forces the issue a bit, reiterates his desire to leave. Because he did say a few weeks ago after Argentina played, I want to try a new experience, people. I think he wants to stay in sunny Spain and play for Barcelona. The 9 shirt is all set up. I'm sure Messi, when Messi talks, you listen like these Argentinian players, but I'm sure he's telling him everything about Barcelona. Again, respect to every journalist and their work, but I remain adamant that the player is open to a move to North London if his dream move to Barcelona fails. Athletic remain adamant they will not sell to Barcelona, but my understanding is Barcelona will engage in talks for one final attempt post-World Cup. A deal remains difficult, but it's not deterred Arsenal from trying to position themselves for an opportunity to sign a top-tier forward should Athletic sanction a sale. Berta is currently in the capital of Madrid with his family. When they say with his family, Berta with his family or with Alvarez's family? I'm not sure what that means. Let me know, people. One source said he's also taking the opportunity to meet with Athletic officials directly, but I'm waiting on further confirmation on this. On Bruno Guimarães, my understanding is club-to-club talks have not taken place except a phone call from Newcastle asking Arsenal about their stance, which didn't clarify anything between the parties. That's interesting because it should... One, there's been no official bid for all the hula and stuff, and we know there's middlemen, taking one phone call from Arsenal, then seeing what Newcastle saying, acting as the middleman essentially. But that's the first thing. There's been no direct club-to-club contacts. Newcastle could be braced. We could be tying up personal terms, seeing what Bruno and his agent's saying, but there's no club-to-club talks. Interesting, Newcastle have shouted us. So are we playing a blinder like Kaya Jarupkin is forcing the issue both with Newcastle, gassing up Bruno that this move could happen, and the agent is unsettling the player to the point where Newcastle are asking Arsenal what's going on? Ooh, I find that quite interesting that Newcastle have shouted us, because surely, and it's easy for me to say, but Newcastle would say a thing where you can make all this noise. Arsenal need to call us because we've got the player in it. We have to agree. Don't matter how much his agent, you and Bruno will want this. If that's what you want, you have to shout us. Let me know, people. Maybe I'm tweaking. Berta is still, which didn't clarify anything between the parties. So Arsenal have been a bit coy there. Berta is still wanting Kai to handle all negotiations until/if a fair valuation can be reached between both parties. Newcastle are aiming to secure a fee within the 80-85 million range as a minimum. I think we should just pay the premium personally, especially if we can get a couple of people sold. Bruno is fully sold on the project and is awaiting his agents and Kia, I keep saying Kai, to handle the situation respectfully. On Rodgers, currently I'm not obliged to update on this current file. When I can, I'll be sure to explain things in detail. People at Arsenal maintain he is the main, or better yet, top target for winger/central attacking role. For now, all I can say is Spurs showed some interest, but as of today, Morgan's focus is Arsenal for deal can be agreed. Obviously, Aston Villa have probably looked after their wage bill now because a number of players have gone. For Newcastle, Tonali, Isaac, Gordon have left. I understand why Bruno wants to leave. I understand why they would want to keep their captain regardless, and also the message that sends to their fans, people. Spurs got involved in Rodgers, step in the right direction, but yeah, for me, whether it's Bruno, whether it's Rodgers, I'd love them. They're sure they love us. Well, you got to agree a fee with these people. Others, he says. I saw reports about UAE interest in Norgard. My understanding is that the player wants to stay in London for at least another year if he's able to. So is that Arsenal or is that another club? I also asked contacts at Fenerbahce about Jesus, who say currently there's no major interest as of today. So, where Gabriel Jesus is concerned, still not able to move him on. People around the Zolas deal on both sides expect it to progress soon, which brings me to this. Farewell to Trossard, legend, clutch player. At a minimum, someone's got to replace your clutch goals when you did, because a lot of your goals were match winners and dramatic goals and things like that. But we've agreed to sell him for 17 million, in brackets, 20 million euros. Best of luck in Turkey, Trossard. Go and smash it. Ben Jacobs and Sammy Motbell and all of them have been speaking. Zolis has informed Arsenal he wants to join, and club-to-club talks are set to accelerate. Zolis to cost 30 to 35 million, dependent on the structure of the deal. Club Brugge are willing to sell this summer. Zolis proposed arrival has no bearing on Arsenal's pursuit of Morgan Rodgers. The 24th of June, Ben Jacobs said this, so let me know your thoughts. I think Arsenal are aware that Alvarez is waiting at this stage for Barcelona, but I think we can't discount a twist. Maybe a bit later in the window after the World Cup, there might be a window of opportunity for other clubs. I'm also told, despite the fact Atletico Madrid will deny it, that the 500 million euros release clause is more complicated for certain Champions League clubs, certainly Barcelona. There's deposition to get the player for a lower number, closer to 130 million euros. The reason why no one has proceeded, you have to pay taxes as well. So that creates an overall package closer to 150 million euros. I'm told reliably by multiple sources that a deal could happen for between 130 to 150 million euros. Barcelona for now are the ones to watch, but it's true that Alvarez is a dream target for Arsenal. And he said Julian Alvarez is a dream target for Arsenal. Player will assess options post-World Cup. With Barcelona still in contact with the player as well, just leave him to Barca. If there's a chance to go and grab him. Saliba, after picking up an injury, Julian Alonso said, my back is gone, my back is gone. And he's had that issue for a while, innit? So something's got to have given. England to make a late call on Declan Rice. Apparently, he has been suffering with illness, folks. And where is the Sammy Moke bill? I think we need to find that. We're not gonna. Don't worry, people. We're gonna get that because we need to read that article. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Let's read this and see what's happening. Oh, I already had it up. As we know, negotiations have commenced, and Trossard is obviously a Besiktas player. Big him up for his 36 goals and 34 assists in 174 appearances at Arsenal. He was a key player for us, people, and he done his thing. Sammy Moltbell has also said we're set to accelerate our pursuit of Zolis following the departure of Trossard, people, and we're now poised to move. Club Brugge are anticipating an offer for Zolis, as it says there, folks. Berta is working on a deal after his assistant Maurizio Micheli watched a 24-year-old play for Greece against Sweden last month. Could be available for £30 million, 35 million euros in brackets. Any move for him would be separate to Arsenal's interest in signing more high-profile attackers this summer. They retain a long-term interest in Julian Alvarez, who is the club's priority target. Okay, so everyone else said Morgan Rogers is our priority target. But it remains to be seen if a deal for the Argentina international is possible this summer, with Barcelona and Real Madrid also interested. Morgan Rogers is Arsenal's preferred option in their search for a versatile forward, with the club's efforts to sign the Aston Villa attacker set to accelerate once his participation at the World Cup with England is over. Paris Saint-Germain winger Bradley Barcola, who didn't move me in the defeat for France with Spain, is viewed as an alternative in the event of failing to reach an agreement with Aston Villa, who currently value Rogers at 130 million. So Zolis is being brought in regardless. This has said our long-term target is Julian Alvarez, but our preferred option for a versatile forward is Morgan Rogers. So is Alvarez our first choice and only choice if we could, because I can't imagine getting Rogers and Alvarez and Bruno Guimarães. But is Alvarez our, if we had to pick between Rogers and Alvarez, it'd be Alvarez. Is it we want Alvarez, we want Rogers, and we think Rogers is quite attainable? Bradley Barcola, what it says there is a potential backup kind of option. This also said, meanwhile, Arsenal recruitment specialist Micheli watched Georgia under-21 international Andrea Bartisvili play for Iberia 1999 against Flora in their Champions League qualifier last Wednesday, with sources indicating the Gunners are stepping up their efforts to land their teenage attacker. I mean, if he joins us at 18 and progresses all the way to be anything like Kvaratskhelia, who's also Georgian, great. If we can have a good first team player, great. If we can sell him at a profit, great. I'm so nervous about Saliba's injury.